Greetings, comrades. Okay, here's part 2 of my January book haul. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is, briefly, it's called Wildwood by Colin Meloy and illustrations by Carson Ellis. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I don't know that it was one I actually would have picked up on my own. It's about a young boy who gets kidnapped and his sister goes into the wild woods to rescue him, and she finds out, like, in there's like a kind of a war going on and everything's in danger and that kind of stuff, that kind of little adventure thing. I don't know, I guess there's fairy creatures and things like that. I don't know that I would have read that on my own, even though it's gotten really good reviews, but they had this at the bookstore for like half price. I guess it's there's something a little bit wonky here about a few of the pages are sticking out a little bit farther, so maybe that's why it wasn't a perfect book, so they put it on for half price, and I said, hey, for half price I can check it out. And the illustration is, of course, wonderful. There's illustrations inside, too. The next book I got is called Ophelia and the Marvelous Boy by Karen Foxley. It's the first one of hers I've read, and this is a story about a young boy who he's chosen by these wizards to deliver a sword to the person who will defeat the Snow Queen. And he travels, kind of like, sounds like, from one kind of alternate world into this one, and also he gets imprisoned for like 300 years, but he finally is found by this young girl whose father has gone to a museum in an unnamed city. Her teenage sister, I think she's like 12, I think her teenage sister's about 15. Their mom had died about 3 months before, and her dad is a specialist in swords, and he's putting together this exhibit, and it's in a museum, and of course the museum curator is the Snow Queen, who is still alive in all this time. And so she finds this boy. She's very logic-oriented and belongs to the Children's Scientific Society. So him trying to convince her that he was sent by wizards, that he's 300 years old, and there's all this kind of fantastical stuff going on, takes a bit of doing. But, she comes through, so nice little children's book story. I will try and get this. I just finished this a couple of days ago. I'll try and get this in one of my wraps and recs before too long. The next one is the one I'm reading next, the middle grade book I'm reading next, which is called Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stevens. Now, it's these two young girls, Wells and Wong, a detective agency they form, and this is in England. I think it's not, I don't remember the time frame that it's in, but it's not current time. I thought it was going to be current time, but it isn't. I think it's like maybe back in the 30s or something like that. Young girls at girls' school to form a detective agency. Sounds like fun. That's the one I'm reading now. This next one is this actually came from the young adult sections by Libby Bray. It's called The Diviners, and it's a doorstop. Look at the size of this thing. I don't know when I'll get to this. It sounds kind of interesting, but mostly I got it because it was written in the 1920s, and I mean, how many young adult novels do you see that take place in the 1920s? And it's got 1926. It's New York. It's filled with speakeasies, Ziegfeld girls, rakish pickpockets. The only catch is that it's about a girl who goes to live with her uncle, who has an obsession with the occult, and I guess chaos ensues. Okay, so anyway, it sounds good. I think it's gotten some good reviews. It takes place in the 1920s, which I love, so I'm going to check that out. The next one, this is a pretty standard also. It's called The Apothecary, Maile, M-A-I-L-E, Meloy, M-E-L-O-Y. Again, middle grade, young adult. It's got one of those horrible plasticky feel covers on it. The illustration is nice, but the feel of the cover is kind of slimy. This one takes place in 1952. Let's see. I don't know. There's a young boy whose father is kidnapped, and he and the young girl set out to find him. Okay, a little adventure story. It sounded like fun. Now, these next three books are all by the same author. One of them looks like kind of a ghost story. The other two maybe adventure, treasure hunt, power stories. It's called The Year of Shadows. And I'm sorry, these are not the ones that are by the same author. This one is by a different author, Claire Legrand. This is about a young girl who it's like a stage. I don't know if it's stage thing. Anyway, it's kind of haunted by ghosts. She goes, she tries to figure things out. It sounds really good. Great cover though, huh? The Year of Shadows, Claire Legrand. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. Okay. This next one is one that I've read recently, and I think this is one I did a review on. I think it might have been in my Raps and Recs, maybe part 1, or just a review of it at all. The Snow Merchant by Sam Gayton, Gayton, and the illustrations in this edition of the book are done by Chris Riddell, who's a really well-known middle grade children's book author. It's kind of it's a magic book, but the magic is alchemy, more than wizards and witches and things like that. It's all about alchemy and a young girl who sets off to find her mom, who disappeared several years ago, and has some help from a young friend. It's a really good book. Check out the Raps and Recs that has that one in it. The next one is called The Case of Secrets by Alfred M. Struthers. It looks like, here, it looked like a book, old and boring, but when 11-year-old Nathan Cole picks it up off the attic floor, strange things begin to happen, things he can't explain or ignore. The book leads him through a complex set of clues left by Alistair Raven, a renowned New York City architect who vanished in the mid-1800s, never to be heard from again. There we go. Okay. Yeah, The Case of Secrets. Sounds like fun. So, got that one. And, yeah, Alfred M. Struthers is who that's by. Okay, the next one is, this one is the beginning book in a series. I don't know if I knew that when I got it, which is fine. Neil Schusterman and Eric Elfman. It's called Tesla's Attic. Okay, that pretty much ought to tell you. Young kid moves into a house, finds weird things, or rather they kind of find him by bonking him on the head when he goes into the attic, and he finds out a lot of the stuff there is acting weird and has to do with Tesla, and chaos ensues, of course. And I think there's another one after this that's Edison, something about Edison in the title. But that just sounded like a really fun, quick read, so I picked that up. And the next three are the ones that are actually by the same author. No. Sorry, sweetie. Can't come over here right now. Cat. The first one, it's Gigi Pandian, Pandian, Gigi, I'm not sure how it is. This one is called The Accidental Alchemist. I don't know if there's going to be more in this series or not. It's a woman who I think is kind of trying to get away from her magical kind of past, moves to Portland, and moves to Portland. But finds out that she's brought kind of a little a gremlin or something along with her. What is it? A gargoyle. That's it. She's brought a gargoyle along with her, and he's got issues, and she has to try and help him out. So I don't know. It sounded like fun. Now the next two are books 1 and 2 in the series by the same author, Gigi Pandian. Jaya Jones' Treasure Hunt Mystery is the first one. It's called Artifact. And the second one, great covers, huh? Artifact. And the second one is called Pirate Vishnu. So, yeah, adventure stories. You know what I like. I love them. I'm escapist. I'm an escapist literature buff, I guess. That's all there is to say about it. Okay, so that's my young adult, one young adult and mostly middle grade book haul for January. And I think I can probably get to most of these this year. I'm pretty much done for my book hauling for the last few months. Other than those books I mentioned earlier in video one, that I did order all the Angela Thurkel books. I ordered all the rest of the ones that Virago had published. I think they've done 7 altogether. I had 2, so I ordered like 5 of them. Anyway, that's it. That's part 2 of my my haul for January. I look forward to reading all of these books and to sharing my thoughts about them with you. I hope you'll join in. That's it for now. Happy trails and happy reading.